There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that aging is no longer theoretical. It becomes physical, it becomes visible, and more than anything, it becomes something you feel. If you are over 60, you understand what I mean. The subtle heaviness in the legs when you stand up, the way your hands feel colder than they used to, the slight dip in energy in the middle of the afternoon, the extra time it takes to recover after something that once felt effortless. For a long time, I accepted those changes as the price of experience. I told myself, this is what getting older looks like. But there was a quiet doubt that wouldn't go away. What if this wasn't just age? What if something deeper was happening beneath the surface? I remember sitting one morning, rubbing my calves because they felt tight and sluggish. I hadn't done anything strenuous, yet my body felt like it was moving through resistance. My thoughts weren't as sharp, my stamina wasn't what it had been, and I started noticing that my physical confidence was subtly shrinking, not dramatically, just enough to make me aware. Like many men, I shrugged it off. I blamed the calendar. I assumed circulation naturally slows down after 60. But then I started looking beyond my immediate environment. I became curious about communities known for longevity, especially in Japan, where men in their 70s and 80s often remain physically active, mentally alert, and socially engaged. I watched interviews and read about elders who walked daily, tended gardens, participated in community life, and did so without a pharmacy shelf full of pills. What struck me most was not what they were taking, it was what they were doing. These men weren't relying on complex interventions. They practiced something simple, consistently, almost rhythmically. And the more I studied it, the more I realized it wasn't mystical. It was physiological. After 60, our vascular system changes in predictable ways. Nitric oxide production declines. The endothelium, the inner lining of our blood vessels, becomes less responsive. Arteries lose elasticity, peripheral circulation weakens, perfusion pressure becomes less efficient. None of this happens overnight. It's gradual, quiet, easy to ignore, but healthy blood flow isn't just about preventing heart attacks. It's about delivering oxygen and nutrients to every tissue. It's about mental clarity, physical endurance, even sexual vitality. When blood moves with strength and flexibility, the body responds with energy. When circulation becomes sluggish, everything feels slower. The blood flow trick I discovered wasn't a pill. It was a habit, a practice deeply embedded in daily life among many Japanese elders. Consistent, moderate walking combined with gentle, rhythmic muscle contractions and deep nasal breathing. At first, it sounded almost too simple, but when I looked at the science, it made sense. Light muscle contractions act like pumps, assisting venous return. Walking stimulates endothelial function and encourages nitric oxide release. Deep nasal breathing enhances oxygen exchange and supports vascular tone. Moderate sun exposure helps regulate vascular health through vitamin D pathways, and consistency, above all else, trains the vascular system to adapt and remain responsive. It wasn't intensity that mattered, it was regularity. I began implementing this approach myself. Every day, I committed to a steady walk, not rushed, not competitive, just deliberate. I focused on posture and rhythm. I added simple calf raises and light muscle contractions during the day to stimulate circulation. I practiced slow nasal breathing, especially during moments of stress. I made sure I was getting natural light regularly. And I shifted my diet toward more vegetables that naturally support nitric oxide production. Within weeks, I noticed subtle changes. My legs felt lighter, my hands were warmer, my recovery after activity improved, my mental clarity sharpened slightly. Nothing dramatic at first, but undeniably different. I wasn't alone in this. Kenji, a 72-year-old man I read about from Okinawa, described his daily walking ritual as maintenance for the river inside the body. That phrase stayed with me. Another man, Hiroshi, 78, said he never skipped his morning walk because movement keeps the blood honest. Even here at home, my friend Robert, 67, told me that after committing to daily walks and breathing exercises, his stamina improved to the point where he felt 10 years younger. He said, "I thought I was just getting weaker. Turns out I was just getting stagnant." That word hit me. Stagnant. No primeiro link da descrição, eu deixei guia para quem deseja entender como homens maduros estão apoiando o fluxo sanguíneo saudável e a vitalidade naturalmente, sem depender de soluções artificiais. Because once I understood what was happening, I realized this wasn't about copying another culture blindly. It was about understanding vascular physiology. Dr. Patrick Miller, who has studied longevity patterns in Asian populations, explains that maintaining endothelial function is central to preserving vitality after 60. He emphasizes 3 pillars: stimulate natural nitric oxide production, preserve arterial elasticity, and avoid chronic vascular inflammation. The Japanese habit activates all 3. Walking daily stimulates nitric oxide release. Rhythmic muscle contractions support circulation. Deep breathing improves oxygenation. A vegetable-rich diet supports endothelial health. Moderate sunlight helps regulate vascular balance. Together, these simple actions encourage vasodilation, reduce stiffness, and improve microcirculation. Dr. Miller often says that men over 60 don't suddenly lose vitality because of age alone. They lose vascular efficiency. And when blood flow becomes less dynamic, energy declines. In the West, many of us wait until symptoms become dramatic before we respond. We wait for severe fatigue, for significant blood pressure issues, for frightening diagnoses. But circulation doesn't collapse overnight. It declines quietly. Less energy, slower recovery, reduced physical confidence. These are often early signs of reduced blood flow, not irreversible aging. Se você quer aprender como aplicar esse princípio de forma estruturada e segura, o guia no primeiro link da descrição mostra como homens acima dos 60 estão fortalecendo a circulação e recuperando vitalidade naturalmente. When I reflect on the simplicity of this trick, I realize it's not a trick at all. It's a protocol, a consistent daily rhythm that includes moderate walking, conscious muscle engagement, nasal breathing, balanced sunlight exposure, and a diet rich in natural plant compounds that support nitric oxide. No pills, no extreme routines, just activation of the body's own vascular mechanisms. The result doesn't come from forcing the body, it comes from training it gently and persistently. Dr. Patrick Miller reinforces that vascular adaptability is something we can influence at any age. When arteries remain flexible, when nitric oxide signaling is supported, when inflammation is kept in check, blood flow remains robust. And when blood flow remains robust, energy and clarity follow. Aging does not have to mean accepting cold hands, heavy legs, fading stamina, or diminished vitality. It means understanding what changes and responding intelligently. If you're over 60 and you've felt those subtle shifts, I want you to know this. What feels like weakness may simply be reduced circulation, and circulation can be supported. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue exploring practical, science-based strategies to protect your vitality, maintain your strength, and redefine what aging can look like. Growing older is inevitable. Growing stagnant is not.